I come from East London. I did my lower primary there, higher primary. Played rugby. Very good in rugby. Came to Cape Town. You know, lived in Khayelitsha with my mother, who's a single parent. My father is a teacher, a maths teacher. So I lived with them. Was sent to go live with his older brother, Holder Shibin Kwajola, very popular in Cape Town. So basically, I spent my entire youth life in Khayelitsha, confined there in that jungle. And the only escape I had was Okolo High School, my high school, where I was in the SGB, RCL for president for 3 years, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. Founded a lot of organizations, started Batandwa, Children's Orphanage Home. From that, we moved to organizations like Buyalembo Village, which is now called the Spade Boutique, which was bought by Gua Ace, Yo, the violence, the gang violence that's there. Stampede, Simba when he's about in that scene, and there's just a place called home, and there's a stampede that killed his father. Khayelitsha represents that for me, because half of the people die on a daily and consistent basis, But people like Yomshai, our age group, make Cape Town great again. Everything we started, even my organization, 7784, when we started radio culture with Abo Mzu, there was a lot of element, protection fee, had criminals calling us saying that we should sell drugs on the radio, So Khayelitsha is a place like that, But the organization I was in, it wasn't Equal Education Khayelitsha Development Forum. Starting your Sankas with drug active programs, your TAC, Masqole Mlando was in TAC, tech, HIV and AIDS. So you become a success once you focus on your craft. What are you good at? I was good at accounting. I was good at public speaking. But I was never good at working with my hands. But from the donation club, I used to collect old uniform clothes, wash them, take them to orphanages. And the orphanage was still a shack that time. But I was able to organize Lotta and Coca-Cola to build Batanda's orphanage home at a young age.
How old are you?
I was 15.
15?
But imagine I started a construction company, a sub-construction company with my spiritual father was a Jehovah's Witness at that time. So I was always a bright child. I could recite all of the adverts on TV. When I joined Zabalaza, I started out with Skatamia. Skatamia mvumi wena, Skatamia mvumi wena, Skatamia. Andile's father was in a group like Lady Blacksmith, Black Mambazo in high school. Had this idea. There was a films festival in primary. So we used to have those things on Machaivan. A good like school, school bus. We all there with the chairs, we dance. So I started recognizing that I can build hype, But I didn't have the confidence that came with performance. But I was able to act for Zabalaza. And my school was awarded the best school in Khayelitsha in my year. And we won the lotto competition. We came 3 to get the orphanage, And Zabalaza, we were acting Nothing But the Truth. And I was featured in Nothing But the Truth, Later comes with that Red University of Cape Town, and it has your name, yeah, and it has the accepted written in red, you know. The first thing was like, did I get in for law or my dream accounting? But it wasn't. It was a decade of scars. Was he talking about transitioning from a trick? It wasn't easy, bruh. In order to apply in UCT, you know those donations they used to print those 2 rands on the paper? I did that to write my MPT. You know, a decade of scars to get money to come to UCT. I used to work Saturdays pushing the trolley for Pie City, getting paid 50 Rand an hour. You know? I mean, also like you, I felt because I got the news when I was in the mountain. Yeah, well. Hleli phana ngumkhwetha saluka wami nadai, you know, just smoked as well. Yes. Hleli phana. Kungenela itasedlini uSinalo who was delivering me food in the mountain. It's like, hey booty, because my aunt works here. Hey booty, endlini arrive late. Yabo. Conditional offer. What? Yabo. Uthathiwe emsebenzini kamama. What the? I'm in Mkweta. I'm due to come back home in 3 days. No! My brother. I couldn't motherfucking wait for that Mzwandile, everything, so I can get to Cape Town. I even lied to my grandmother. I'm like, the res offer is for next week so that I can leave immediately after the Mzwandile. I spent a week on a bus. When I got to Cape Town, I spent 2 days in Khayelitsha. I took a duffel bag with all my new Makola clothes. I took Ingubo. I came to UCT Middle Campus. I stood a line there. That's why I got it to Makwat. That's why I went to Makwat. The brotherhood with the friends I made. My brother, the brotherhood, when I was saying, look, an epiphany was coming that you would laugh. I met a guy here, son of a doctor. Parents are doctors. The father was the president of UCT RSRC in the 90s. This course, going to class, wearing my gabalam, my ikwala hat, and then Navata Bam, brown. His name is Luto Lukande. He can't speak Xhosa well because he grew up in the suburbs. You know, he's like, Zwai, could you please teach me how to with the others? And I'm like, you know, even in manhood, there's class. Because the guy is like, look, man, I want to relate to the brotherhood also, the friends you keep, because you are the only people who are dressed like me here. Because the others didn't understand his other friends, the white ones. So I understood him, we became friends. I teach him the code. He teaches me class behavior. So I read a book. So I drink water. So I organic fruit. So I vegetarian. So I let's join the gym. You know? So I take USN. So brotherhood was extended. You know? Because the unfamiliar environment, there were similarities. You know, because me and Ludo shared Isiko. We were both Xhosa men. So even if he came from an opulent background, he could come and just say, it's like when a rich millionaire goes to a sangom. Because I ended up becoming a sangom also, you know. So, you know, I'm getting brotherhood. Because after that, we became friends with Otoriso, with other men, or Ndebele, because Ochivas are Ndebele, Nabaswati. I just wrote Mem 1012. There's a party. I'm walking with Magnolia van Dijk, with Robert, walking down. You know, again, in your city, you know, students, when you just can have a quickie in the toilet, there's a party. Pub opening. Yo! My nigga, I'm in house come. I have a rooftop vacation room with Bongani, the supporting box. You just rotate test. In lower campus, when we get there, the quad. Mobia, Mobia, Mobia. You know those songs, most surrogating. I'm from Marco Taguel, you know, a keg. When I get to the rooftop, Thomas is wearing that Boras thing. Yeah, well, the one who was wearing a sex appeal. Guys hired a jacuzzi. It's still the day. We haven't connected the jacuzzi. I'm like, it's going to get lit. My nigga, I've never been in a party. The alcohol we were drinking was in a bin. We cleaned the bin. The amount of beers were full in a bin. I'm not talking about the bottles. The small bin is for the bottles. The big bin is for the beers. Mzwandile Zazi still has those memories there. When you go to YouTube, you say Leo Makwat party. There's a video of this night, wildest night in my life. Top one. First year, fine. Because first year, only thing made me sad. Doing 9 courses, failed 1. Never failed in my life. Like, fuck you, sir. And I only failed by just 2%. Sorry for the language.
Fire.
And then second year, the night before I wrote stats, I get a call from my Gasa friend who's DJing at Kwasoli, DJ Bonoti. He's like, there's someone with a girlfriend in the car and they're kissing. Following day, when I write stats, come back results, 3% out of 100. Yo! The entire world came crashing down. But fast forward, left with 1 course now. And this girl I'm talking about, after I broke up with her, joined university, called me. I tutored her. She just got her BTech in CPUT. Because the thing is, you know, women, and she has a child, you know, women, when they tell you they're pregnant and they say it's a false alarm, never doubt it, because the fight was about that. GPP, you know, Ekasi, I had a problem of abusing her because I was loved too much with her. You know, I had a problem of abusing women. It becomes a mess. So I needed to consult my father, whoever it was. I needed to consult my mother, wherever she was, to intervene because maturity was starting to get difficult. Aside from studies, there are problems that are happening in the student community. I hadn't been addicted to drugs yet, even not smoking weed because I was in the cult. But after the molestation case, I took a member of one of the elders to court. But in the continuation and survival, because I wasn't surviving and you know I didn't afford cocaine like my girlfriend, I smoked it. Right. Crystal meth. It's like rock, yeah, but you get it. It looks like salt. You put it in a gauze, a doll, and then you pour it. But you're not allowed to with the mouth. But now I was even dragoning. You roll it like this. You don't eat, you don't sleep. Days on days. High. And in university, I started Googling videos of Pablo, reading up in the library, cocaine formulas, and I used to mix ingredients, drugs to test and smoke. And hey, people started saying Amaya's Tamako because they said no, I must make the Amaya's the powder, the 300 bags powder, white powder they sell in Zion. I must make those. So started making. I made money. I put the Mzwandile. So the drug addiction was like that. How do I hear? You get an email.
You get
First, you get warnings. You see, like my level will tell you take your baby if you don't give the man, put in micro oven, in the oven on. You get warning. Student wellness. Hey, ZZX. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Escalates department. And then financial aid N plus don't rule exceeded, no longer qualify for this, and then gone. Yeah, after I got excluded, I was homeless for 4 years.
Where were you living?
On the streets with cousins, sleeping outside, whatever I could get, whenever I could get it. Orphanages, hospitals, Lenderie, Rotaskier, Falkenberg, Bokap. So now I'm at a mental health institution. I'm resisting being there because I'm saying I'm not crazy. I'm not involved in Roadmas 4. And Kumani did all those things with the other guys, not me. Yo, they just put a needle. Side B hospital. When it didn't work, they put about 6 needles on me until I passed out. When I woke up, I was in Grotesque Hospital. In a bed with a colored man, Mr. Adam Peterson. Powers. Let's go. Yeah? So if you just leave the university, yeah, then letters from lawyers start coming that you must pay the fees because you failed, because the NFRs don't pay the fees if student fail. Yeah. So that happened, and then Snokolo boy, a member, got me help with a psychologist, Timbagazi, who admitted me under Dr. Boyson in Grotesque for 3 weeks at first. Because I had been complaining about that I think I'm being poisoned or I'm being denied food, but they said I was hallucinating, said I had mania, and they said it was psychosis, and they said they found drugs, a lot of cocaine in my system, and I don't know how it got there. Maybe I was spiked. So I say maybe I was spiked because I've never smoked cocaine in my life. So I mean, if it wasn't for students, SRC, if it wasn't for student wellness, and if it wasn't for the vice chancellor, Mamkheti Pakeng, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to return to university and the support that I needed to now be at this place I am to finish and graduate. So, I'm highly grateful to the Dell Young Leaders, highly grateful to my best friend in university, Rabu, the ape, for his music, for all of the support, even in my admission last year. Rabu's the one who supported me for everything. If I was not assisted by Atabile, Mastole, and Notoba to come back, but later helped by EFF Student Command, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because my life was already over. I had given up. But my uncle intervened for about 3 years, and I lived with my cousin sister with her husband in Somerset. And we used to clean the garden with my other cousin. You know, talking about how I'm empowering kids. It was a time where I needed to go back to basics. Need to go back to basics, you know. And the students of UCT who have graduated out of my tutoring program in Mbeu, yeah, well, the seat, but not the one on TV, the tutoring one, not the Z on TV, the Z. Yeah, so that's how I'm giving back, you know, starting local based curriculum services. I would say older Zwa Skap Hub. Chill, boy. Skap Hub.
No. Say it. Like if I was to advise my.
If I was to advise my
Again.
older self as my younger self, I'd say, you see, you came from nothing, started from the bottom. But wherever you are, don't show off. Keep to yourself. My name is Mzwandile Zazi. I obtained a BCom Management Studies degree in marketing, statistics, and economics from the University of Cape Town. And I'm about to enroll for an honors program in economic analysis and portfolio management in UCT. And this is my journey.